Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 23 of STP Mathematics 2A lesson series. You can see a past paper on the screen. Now you might think what I'm going to do. So if you can remember, in day 22, we started a new topic. What was it? It is the circumference and area of a circle. We started that chapter. And I thought to select questions from past papers to discuss today, because in the previous video I discussed all the theories related to that, and I'm going to discuss the past paper questions related to that topic. Now, most of the parents, I want to make this clarified. Most of the parents, they think now the Lyceum schools, they are following the Excel curriculum. Therefore, they can't consider these old past papers for their kids, the practice sessions. I would say that whatever the curriculum they follow in the school, maybe the Cambridge or the Excel, for mathematics, they use the same textbook, STP Mathematics 1A, 2A, and 3A books that we had for years. And these papers were prepared based on the textbook STP Mathematics 2A. Therefore, whatever the curriculum you are following now, it doesn't matter. You can take these past papers to practice. But I'm not saying that this statement is valid for all the subjects. So you want to consult your other subject teachers, but from my end, I can recommend and I can strongly confirm whatever the curriculum you are following, all the past papers, they are still valid. And some of the questions are very good and they are very advanced. And if your child can practice these sums, so then it will be easier for them to tackle that whatever the questions and the papers they get nowadays, right? Okay, so then what I'm going to do, I'm taking the questions from all these past papers, which is related to our topic, right? So then we were discussing about the circumference and area of a circle, and I pick only those subjects, right? Find the radius of a circle with the circumference 220. First of all, we want to write the formula. C equal to 2, 5 R. What does this mean? C equal to 2 times 5 times R. Circumference is equal to 2 times 5 times R. Children, we have another formula. Can you remember? C is equal to 5D. But without taking C equal to 5D, why I selected C equal to 2 5R? Because that we want to find R. So then it's easier for me to get this formula. Easily I can find the R value. If I pick this one, I can find the D value. Then I want to divide that D value by 2 and get the answer. It's kind of a longer path. Therefore, straight away I can use C equal to 2 5R equation. Now here, we know the C value. They have given the C value. And they have given the phi value, right? What they have not given, R is not given. That means I want to find the R value. What I do, I keep R here and I send that 2 and 5 multiplication 2 and 5 to the other side. It is like this. Simply R is equal to C divided by 2, 5. Then C is what? 220 divided by, right, 2 times 22 over 7. Okay. So then what should I do? I write it that the next step, what it is, 220 divided by 44 over 7. Then I convert the division into multiplication. Then I get the reciprocal of the earlier one, that 7 over 44. I can simplify. 22 times 10 and 22 times 2. 2 times 1, 2 times 5. Then the R is equal to 35 centimeters. Hope it is clear for all of you. Now you write that is C over 2/5 means C divided by 2/5. 2 into 5. 2 times 22, the answer is 44. 44 over 7. And then I convert this division into multiplication, right? So then it is, instead of 44 over 7, now I have 7 over 44. I can divide 220 by 22. It gives me 10. And I can divide 44 by 22. It gives me 2. So then I can simplify 10 and 2 again. It gives me 5. 5 times 7, 35 centimeters. Right. Then I'm moving to the next one. Find the area of this circle. Now here, area. How to find the area? The formula is equal to 5r squared. What does this mean? 5 into r into r. So 5 value they have given 3.14 and r is equal to 7 centimeters and 7 centimeters. Can you remember in the previous video I told you they will give you the 5 value. We don't want to worry about that by any chance. If they have not given, we can write I considered 5 is equal to 22 over 7. Likewise, you can introduce the value you use and you can do the calculation. But most of the time, rarely you can come across with such a situation. Most of the time you get the 5 value. It can be 22 over 7. It can be 3.14. Sometimes it can be 3.142. It depends. Right, so then here what happened? 7 times 7, 49. Now here 314, you multiply by 49. 7 times 7, it is 49. 9 times 4, 36. 3 remainder. 9 times 1, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. Now 1 remainder. 9 times 3, 27. 27 plus 1, 28. 4 times 4, 16. 1 remainder. 4 times 1, 4 plus 1, 5. 4 times 3, 12. And then here it is 6. 6 plus 2, 8. 5 plus 8, 13. 2 plus 2, 4 plus remainder 1, 5 and 1. So then you get this answer. Right? You get this answer if you divide 314 by 49. But in the question, it's not like that, no? Right? Question is 3.14, right? That means we want to keep 2 decimal places. So then I write 153.86 and this should be centimeter square. Right, always the area unit should be centimeter square, 153.86, right? 3.14 multiplied by 7, multiplied by 7. The final answer will be 153.86, right? So then I'm moving to the next question you have. This one, right? Here we have that they have given a pond, right? So this is the shape of the pond. Find the surface area of the pond. So what do you mean by that? The surface area is this part, right? And then the radius of this is a semicircle. Can you remember we learned the area of a semicircle? What was the formula, children? Area of the semicircle, right? First we write this is a semicircle. Right, so area of the semicircle, the full circle it is 5r squared and the half it should be divided by 2. Okay, so then they have given the phi value 3.14 and r is 2 and r is 2 and the whole thing you divide by 2. Whole thing divide by 2 in the sense, children, multiplying by half. That both the methods are correct. Yeah, you divide something by 2 and then the same thing you get when you multiply it by half, right? So then I can simplify this 2 and this 2. So then I have the answer 6.28 centimeter squared. Oh, sorry, it is meter squared. It is meter squared. Okay, the unit it is in meter squared. right? 3.142 when I multiply by 2, it gives me 6.28. Find the perimeter of the above pond. Can you remember? When you want to find the perimeter, you start from one particular corner and you go like this. So then you find this perimeter and you come to the original position. So then how we are going to find the perimeter, children? First you want to get the the curve part, right? The length of the curve part here, that I will write here. Length of the curve and the length of the straight line, right? Straight line. The curve, we know it is 2,5R is the full circle, and you have half of it plus the length of the straight one means 2 meters plus 2 meters. How I got 2 meters plus 2 meters, children? You can see that here it is the radius 2 meters now. So then from here to here also it is 2 meters like this, right? So 2 meters and 2 meters. So then how we can get that? So then here 2 divided by 2. Then the 5R, what is the 5 value they have given us to use here? 3.14. So then you write 3.14 multiplied by 2. And then 2 meters plus 2 meters, it is 4 meters now. So then what happened, children? You multiply this, it gives me 6.28. For that 6.28, you add 4. Altogether, you have the answer. It is 10.28 meters. That's the perimeter of the pond. You get the curve part and you get the straight line. If a wire mesh is to be fixed 2 times along the perimeter, if I go one round, the length is 10.28, no, children. And if you want to go 2 times, so what will be the length? So then the 10.28, you multiply by 2. What will be the answer here? 2 times 8, 16, 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5, and here 20.56, right? So when you go 2 rounds around the pond to have the fence or to have a wire mesh, when you go 2 times, it is 20.56. Find the number of meters needed. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. Here we have 20.56 now. So then we want to write it as the whole number. It should be 21 meters. The closer, because if you want to have 20.56 to cover the whole the pond with the wire mesh, you can't buy 20 meters now, so then you don't have 0.56. But if you buy 21 meters, you can cover it 2 times and maybe that the tiny portion will be remaining, right? So then the next one they ask, give your answer correct to the nearest whole number, that is 21 meters. So that is it, right? So then the problem here that you want to read the question and you want to be familiar with these questions, right? So you don't get the question as it is what you learned in the class or what you learn with me. You want to practice the sums, right? Now you take the 2020 paper after watching this video, you try to do it by yourself. First you watch this and see that how I approach the answers, but later you want to do it by yourself, right? So then we will move to 2021 paper and see what are the questions we have in this one. So then here we want to find the circumference of the circle. So then you have C equal to 2,5R. Then I write C is equal to 2 times 5 times R. So then here it is equal to 2 times 3.14 times R10. Okay, so can you remember what we did? That this is something you did grade 6. So first you multiply these two. It gives me 6.28. That 6.28 I multiply by 10. What is the answer? Can you remember? It is 62.8 centimeters, right? So first you multiply 3.14 and 2, it gives me 6.28, and 6.28 when you multiply by 10, it gives me 62.8. Okay, so then we will move to the next one. Yeah, this one. Find the radius. We know, by now we know the formula, right? If you have C is equal to 2πr, and if you want to find the R value, we know it is C divided by 2π. Or that you can write the same equation, something like this, R is equal to C divided by 2π. So this is the best way of writing it if you have the phi value, a fractional value. Keep this in your mind, children. First, you look at the phi value they have given. If they have given fractional value like this, so then it is better to write it like this. Why? That is C, we write 44 and divided by 2 multiplied by 22/7. Then I can write it as 44 divided by 44/7. Then I can convert this division into multiplication. Then this the second fraction will make it reciprocal. So then 7/44, and you can cancel this, and your R value will be 7 centimeters. Right? That is how you get the circumference value 44 centimeters. Right? Then we will move to the next question we have. Find the area of the circle. How do you get the area? So then you have 5r squared, and then I write 5 times r times r. So then I have 3.14 multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 2. So then 2 times 2, it is 4. And what I do, 314, I multiply by 4. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 1, 4, plus 1, 5. 4 times 3, 12. You want to keep 2 decimal places here. So I write 12.56 centimeters squared. Okay. 3.14 multiplied by 4. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 1, 4, plus 5. 1, 5. And 4 times 3, 12. So that is 12.56. Then we will move to, wait, I want to double check. It is, yeah, 3.14. 3.14 into 2 into 2, 12.56 centimeters squared. Then we will check that whether we have any other questions related to this topic. Yeah, we have. Here we go. Find a figure shows a rectangular land and a semicircular pond. Right? So you have that this is the land, right? This area is the land, and this is the pond. Okay. Find the area of the rectangular land. Find the area of the rectangular land. How we are going to find this rectangular land? How we are going to find it? First, you want to get the length. That is 6 now. How do you get the width? Width is this 2 plus 2. It is 4. So then how do you get the area of the rectangular land? So then you write the length into width. Right? The length into width. So then the length is equal to 6 meters, and then 4 meters, and then it is 24 meter squared. 24 meter squared. Find the area of the semicircular pond. Now you can see this is the radius of the semicircular part, right? How do you get the area of the semicircular part? The full circle, it is 5r squared, children. And you want to divide this by 2. And what I do, the phi value, they have asked us to take 3.14, and r is 2, and r is 2, and multiply it by half. I told you earlier, when you divide something by 2, it is equal to dividing that the same thing, multiplying by half. So this 2 and 2 will be cancelled, and it is 6.28 meters squared, right? Find the perimeter of the semicircular pond, which is shown in the diagram with a darker line. Now you want to find the perimeter of the semicircular pond. Now hope you can remember, when you have something, you start from one corner and you get the curve path, and then you get the straight line like this, right? The curve path, how do you find that the 25R is the whole thing? No, 25R is the whole thing. And here I have only half of that. I divide it by 2. And for that, you want to add the straight edge. Here the straight edge is 2 plus 2, my children. I can write and 2 meters plus 2 meters. But here, as I don't have enough space, I just write it as 4. And one more thing, children. Here, even though I'm writing the answers on the paper itself, you are supposed to write the answer on a different paper. Here we don't have enough things, so then you read the question instruction properly. Based on that, you want to decide whether you are going to write your answers on the paper itself or you want to use a different one, right? So then here the circular, the curve part is 25R divided by 2, and then the 5 here it is, we have 3.14 multiplied by 2R and plus 4. So then you get the answer 6.28 plus 4. The answer is 10.28 meters. Now children, you can see whatever the information they have given. So then they're asking the same kind of thing that we did the similar thing here also, right? We found it. So then it gave me 10.28. Now we'll see that what they're asking now. If a wire mesh is going to be fixed 3 times, now it becomes 3 times. Earlier we had only 2 times. So then here that we do the same thing now. You are going to have wire mesh 3 times to 10.28. You multiply by 3. So then it gives me 3 times 8, 24. Then 3 times 2, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. And you have 30. So let's double check. 3 times 8, 24. And then 3 times 2, 6. And yeah. So then you have 10.28 multiplied by 3. It is 30.84 meters, right? And find the length of the wire mesh needed. Here we write 30.84. Why? They have not asked us to write that. Earlier one, they have asked us to write it to the nearest whole number. Can you remember? They ask us to write it correct to the nearest whole number. But here they have not mentioned anything. They just ask that if you have the wire mesh 3 times along the perimeter of the pond, find the length of the wire mesh we need, that is 30.84. If grass has to be planted in the rectangular area, right? Now the rectangular area is what, children? It is 24 meters square now. So the rectangular area, it is the land, 24 meters square, that is the area. And you want to find the cost if 3 pounds is charged for each square meter. So then the 1 square meter, the cost is 3 pounds. Now here in this rectangular land, we do have 24 meters squared. I want to double check. Yes, it is 24. So then here 24 meters squared, how do you find it? You multiply 3 by 24. What will be the answer? So then when you multiply 24 by 3, it gives me 72 pounds. That is the cost of having grasses. So then if you want to plant grasses in the rectangular area, the rectangular land, you want to spend 72 pounds. Okay, children, we have another 3 papers to be discussed, 2022, 2023, and 2024. All these 5 questions, I'll discuss only the questions related to circles, area, and circumference. Okay, children, we'll meet again in the next video that we are discussing 2022, 23, and 24 papers. See you then. Bye.